go through the BIS structure and how BIS works and how we formulate Indian standards. So in BIS, we have a general hierarchy to formulate the standards. At the highest level, we have a Standards Advisory Committee. So their main responsibility is to guide the technical committees under them to formulate the standards on areas which are, uh, more on focus. And also if we talk about the hierarchy, then we have a Standards Advisory Committee, and within this advisory committee we have 15 division councils. So these division councils works under the different areas, like we have a Mechanical Engineering Division Council, Chemical Division Council, Petroleum, Coal and Related Products Division Council. So this under PCDC I'm working currently, I'm posted in PCDC. So for PCDC we have a separate department, that is PCD. In this department, in this division council, I can say we have 15 sectional committees which have the responsibility to formulate standards in the different areas. So for plastic related products, or we can say materials or test methods, we have 3 committees: the PCD 12, that is Plastic Sectional Committee; PCD 21, which formulates standards for packaging and all, that is PCD 21; and the third committee is PCD 27, which formulates standards stage, which is a new work item proposal stage. At this stage, we receive proposal from our stakeholders or any common people in India. They can submit us the proposal, and after this proposal, we have a second stage, which is a working draft stage. So after receiving these proposals, we submit this proposal to the relevant technical committee, and they review this technical proposal, and they kind of create a small working group which works on the subject and prepare a working draft. And then this working draft goes to all the technical committee members, which we have in PCD 12 we have around 30 organizations as a part of this committee, and then these drafts are reviewed by these organizations, or we can say experts nominated by these organizations. Once we have a consensus in this technical committee, then this draft goes to the wide circulation stage, which is the kind of most important stage for standard formulation. In this stage, we expect to receive the comments from our general stakeholders, which are not part of our committee. So after receiving comments, which sometimes we don't receive comments, but yeah, majority of the times we receive comments, and then we discuss these comments and we finalize, and then at the last stage we get the Indian standard. So one of the standards which is widely used in recycling is IS 14534. It is a guideline standard for the recovery and recycling of the plastic waste. This standard is also referred in plastic waste management rules. So this is kind of a guideline standard which is provides information about the techniques which can be used for the recovery of the material. And this is not a kind of a product standard. It does not provide any requirements and all. It just gives you the guidelines, what are the options which we have, what are the marking requirements. All these are covered in this standard. Next. Okay, so if you talk about the recovery options which are covered in this standard is either a material recovery or energy recovery. So in material recovery, we have 3 options, which is mechanical recycling, another one is chemical recycling, and third one is organic or biological recycling. So in majority cases in India we have mechanical recycling in use. So this standard majorly focus on this mechanical recycling. What are the different processes that are being used in the mechanical recycling are covered in this standard. Then it talks about the chemical recycling as well, but not in so depth, just like giving option that we have these options as well. Then we have organic, or we can say biological recycling. For that we have a separate standard, we can say ISO 17088, that is for compostable plastic in an industrial composting facility. Next slide. Then you all must be aware about this recycling symbols and codes which we use. These are also these are provided in the standards IS 14534. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Yeah. So the standards which we have for recycling is IS 14535. This standard talks about the recyclate which are ready to be used for manufacturing any products. This is a quite old standard. It was published in 1998. So we are in the process of revising this standard, and what our thought process is to since this standard talks about covering all kind of recycled materials, and it provides, or we can say it's kind of a designation standard which cover the standard based on the two properties, that is MFR and density, and these are not two properties which can be used for all kind of recycling. So what our thought process is, we'll formulate several standards for like for one standard for PE, recycled PEPP, and another standard for PET, and another standard for PVC and all other kind of engineering plastics. So for PET or for rPET for application in non-food contact applications, we already had published IS 16630 part 1, which I'll be covering in the next slides. And for PE and PP, the draft is under preparation, and I'm hoping I'll get it by 30th June from our working group, and after that it will go into wide circulation. And then after that we'll go up to formulate the standards for PVC and another engineering plastics. Okay. The standard which I was talking about is IS 16630 part 1. This is for PET, for water recyclates. Just to inform you all, this standard is also under revision, and Dr. Abu was one of the key pillars in revising this standard. So the revised version is currently under printing, and hoping it will be published within 15 days. But due to some editorial corrections and all, it is taking some time. But now for this standard, it is currently at this stage, it is covering the recycle for PET water, formulating recycled material from PET water recyclates. But we have expanded the scope of this standard. Now it will cover, along with the water recyclates, other material can also be used. So it's also a designation standard. It has to be designated recyclate has to be designated based on 4 properties. That is IV, level of contaminations, water content, and bulk density. So yes, one thing to note is that these standards do not provide any specific requirement for any specific application. So that has to be kept in mind. It's kind of a general standard which talks about the rPET grade. Next. Okay. Similarly, we have one standard for PE and PP mixture, recycling mixture. This is also a designation standard which talks about which is being designated based on 4 parameters, that is composition, melt flow index or melt flow rate, density, and color. So it's a kind of similar standard of 16630. Okay, next. Yeah, this is one more test method standard which talks about recycled PE and PP. It provides the different kind of parameters which is required for recyclates which are not covered in 1659 and on. So for reference of all the recyclates and all, this standard provides the details of what are the different parameters which can be tested and what are the test method that has to be used. Now we can come to the next slide, which is draft Indian standard for recyclates from post-consumer packaging waste of PET for food contact application. So just to note that this standard is currently completed its wide circulation. It is not an Indian standard. It is, you can say, draft Indian standard. So what was need to formulate standard? This subject was under the committee for, I think, from past 2 years to formulate standards, but we were not able to come to a draft. But when we have the regulations from MOEF and FSSI, we speed up this process and we created a small working group. So under the convenership of Dr. Wadikar from Reliance, and Abu sir was also the part of this working group. So these are the different needs why we had initiated the work on first, due to these regulations which which are using which are referred to be used plastic waste management regulations, EPR. So they have mandated the use of recycled plastic. So
he's directed from FSSI.
Hello, sir.
Shall I start? So we are discussing about what was the need and background for formulation of the standards.
Good afternoon, friends. It is our great honor and pleasure that
Regulation issued by FSI, we had initiated the formulation of this draft. I think we can have the next slide. Next, आगे. आप पीछे जा रहे हो. Provides the qualification and what should be the testing methodologies to test the recycled PET we get from the recyclates. One thing to note that as per the FSI regulation, we have to use the plastic waste only from food contact based packaging materials only. So it is also covered in the scope to clarify it And one more thing to note that this standard is only for super clean mechanical recycling processes and does not cover other processes which are approved by FSI. Uh, next. So this is just a reference of supply chain. It was referred in the document to provide the just information to the reader of this document. So it's just for the information purpose. Like the material goes from brand owner to consumer, then it becomes the waste, and then it is collected by waste collector, and then a recycler do their own thing, and then we get the final product based on the approved regulations. Yeah, you can go to next slide. So what are the different, these are the few definitions which we had mentioned in our draft, like what are the qualified feedstock, recyclate, and food grade rpet, super clean mechanical recycling, and input traceability. So the main focus of this draft is on few things of plastic consumer waste, post-consumer waste, input material, then we have a preparatory process which is like grinding, shredding, and drying. Then we have a decontamination process which are approved by FSI, and then we have if we are using any additives and all to achieve the desired property. Then these are the four kind of outline that describe the whole process of production of food recycled PET. Next. So this is a general outline for the super clean recycling process. Decontamination processes which are like a drying, vacuum, chemical treatment, pelletization, all these can be used in a combination to achieve the final food grade rpet. Finalizing this picture, we had around 5 to 6 meetings. So we had thought about specifying the different kind of technologies which we have. But during that we had faced several challenges because we had different technologies in super clean recycling processes as well. So we had come to a conclusion that we'll give the option to like what are the general processes which are being followed in the industry, and these can be used in a combination to get the final food grade rpet. So it can be just to get the what are the different processes are being used. You can get the general outline from here. Next slide. Okay. So about the traceability which I was mentioning, we have input material should be traceable. Like generally we can trace our waste up to a supplier. Before that we have a different kabadi walas which is kind of impossible to trace them what we are getting. So we have mentioned that like line in the draft that traceability for this plastic waste is can be achieved up to the supplier of this waste only. So the recycler shall maintain the record of from where they are getting the plastic waste, and they also maintain the all these records of like what they are getting from the wash line operations, and how they are doing the segregation of these recycled materials, and what are the tests they are performing, what are the steps they are performing to get the desired result. Yes, next. So for quality assurance, we have to maintain the quality of the feedstock. Then we have to check the quality of the final recyclates we are getting. And other two are like okay, we can discuss later. Yeah. Okay. So to check the quality of the recyclate, we had come to this point like as per FSI regulation only, we know that as per FSI regulation only we have to use the post-consumer food grade plastic waste only. So what we had come to a conclusion that it is not possible to test the every truck we are getting. So we'll test the 3% of bales which we are getting, or 3% of total weight, or 2 bales we are getting. We'll test that, and we have come to a two criteria. If we'll get the sample and we are getting 2% of plastic waste from more than, if we have more than 2% of plastic waste from non-food non-contact from non-food sources, then we'll reject that lot. And if we are getting that less than 2%, then we can segregate the waste from whole of the lot, and then we can continue to the forward processes. And yes, these records have to be maintained by the recycler. Yes, next. Then we have come to two kind of quality assurance, quality control. One is the decontamination processes of decontamination process efficiency, and second one is testing the quality control of the final recyclates. So in decontamination efficiency, we are checking the what should be done to ensure that the process is efficient. After we get the technology from the technology provider, then we can test the volatile parameters to ensure that we have a efficient process. And for a testing of quality control, we had talked about kind of what should be the quantity of heavy metals in the final recyclate. Then we have included the overall migration limit. Then also we have included the specific migration limits. So, yes. So if you talk about this decontamination efficiency, first and foremost important thing is use of certified technology, certified by the technology provider. We should maintain the records of input and output flakes, and then yes, evaluation of process efficiency, and if any other tests are specified by the technology provider, then we have to do the testing as per frequency provided by that technology provider. Yes. So about quality parameters, these four things have to be tested: odor and flavor of the recyclate, presence of heavy metals in the recyclates, then overall migration and specific migration. Two things we are testing: heavy metals, like quantity of heavy metals in the recyclate, and in specific migration we are checking how much migration has occurred from the recyclate. Next. Okay. Few more standards BIS have about for the to cover the sustainability. I think just to inform you all about that. First one is IS 17890, which is for assessing the biodegradability of plastic. It kind of this standard encompasses all the test methods which are published by ISO and as adopted by BIS. So like different conditions, soil condition, aerobic and aerobic conditions, we have soil media, then we have sludge media, then we have other two media are also included in this standard. Similarly, we have another standard that is for compostable plastics, and two more standards are published for shopping bags and compostable plastic straw. These are the four standards which are published for to cover the, we can say, sustainable plastic options which we have. That's all I think, and yes, that's all. Thank you.